Hey guys, welcome back. In this session, we will be learning about the Stream API. We will be learning about the Stream API. Stream is one of the major feature added to the Java 8. It is one of the major feature added to the Java 8. Let's see what exactly a stream is. Let's understand the definition of a stream. What is a stream? What is stream? Stream is a sequence of elements. Stream is a sequence of elements from source from source that supports aggregate operations on them. A stream is a sequence of elements from source. Here source could be a collection, it could be an array, or it could be a file input output channel. Okay, so on source we are performing the aggregate operations. Correct. So aggregate operations like filtering, slicing, mapping, mapping, and counting, etc. etc. So these are the some of the aggregate operations. So let's see the definition once again. A stream is a sequence of elements from source that support aggregate operations on them. Here source could be a collection, or it could be array, or it could be a file input output stream. So you on this source, we are performing the aggregate operations like filtering, slicing, mapping, counting. So these are the some of the aggregate operations. Let's see, for example, let's say on this source, let's say I have a collection of elements. Let's say I have a list of numbers from 1 to 6. Now what I want to do is I want to filter the number which is divisible by 2, right? So what are the numbers which is divisible by 2? 2 is divisible by 2, 4 is divisible by 2, 6 is divisible by 2. So these numbers I'll be taking into another list. See here, these are the list of elements I have in a collection. Now what I have done, I have performed the filter operation. What I did it, I have performed the filter operation, and after performing the filter operation, I got the elements. After filtering this collection, I got these elements 2, 4, 6, which is divisible by 2. So I'll be taking this into the separate list. So let's name it as a even list, even numbers list. Okay, let's say I want to filter the elements which is not divisible by 2. Which is not divisible by 2 in the sense 1, 3, 5. So these are the elements which is not divisible by 2. So we can consider these are the odd elements. You can say we will storing into the odd list. See, on the source you are performing multiple operations. One is you are performing the even operation. The other one is you are performing the odd operation. So in even operation, what you are doing, you are checking that if the number is divisible by 2, we can take into the separate list. If the number is not divisible by 2, we will be taking to the separate list. Okay, fine. So these are the some of the aggregate operations. Okay, so the rest of them we will be discussing in the lectures going on. Okay, in the future lectures we will be discussing more on this actually. Okay, let's see the properties of a stream. Let's see the properties of a stream. What exactly stream is going to take? What are the properties? Stream is not a data structure. It is not a data structure. It is not a data structure. Okay, what it will do? It will perform the aggregate operations on the source. It could be a collection, which could be array, which could be a file input output channels, and it will produce some result actually. Okay, That's what it will be doing. The second property is that streams don't change the existing or original data structure. Let's say here in a list you have stored these many elements. In a collection you have stored these many elements. Now what you are doing is on top of this collection, you are performing some operation. For example, getting only the even numbers or getting only the odd numbers from the given collection. So you're performing some operation, but you are not changing the original data structure, which is collection. You are not changing the original collection. You are using this and you are getting the data, which is nothing but you are performing operations on this. So after the performing the operation, you will be getting some result, and the result will be storing into the some data structure called one more list. 246 we will be storing into the even list, 135 we will be storing into the odd list. We'll discuss more on this. Okay, so as of now, just keep in mind that stream don't change the original data structure. And third characteristics is there is okay, I'll tell you something like this. So we can have zero or more number of intermediate operations. We can have zero or more number of intermediate operations that transform a stream into another stream, transform a stream into another stream. So a stream can have zero, or I can say something like this: a stream can have zero or more intermediate operations that transform a stream into another stream. Another stream. Okay. And the fourth characteristics is that intermediate operations always lazy in execution. Always lazy in execution, or we can say that intermediate operations are lazily executed. Also it's fine. Okay, so we have terminal operations as well. So these terminal operations always produce the result. Terminal operations always produce the result. Terminal operations always produce the result. So these are the some of the properties or characteristics of a stream. So let's revise what we have discussed. We have discussed the definition of a stream. So what is stream? Stream is a sequence of elements that supports a sequence of elements from source that support aggregate operations on them. Okay, so and properties of stream also we have discussed. Okay, so stream is not a data structure. Stream does not change the original data structure. Stream can have zero or more number of intermediate operations. Okay, each intermediate operation is lazily executed, and we have a terminal operations. Terminal operations always produce the result. So these are the some of the characteristics we have seen it. Okay, so in the next session we will be discussing about the creation of a stream. Okay, so until then, thank you for watching.